Singapore was a little bit disappointing in the way that race turned out for Mercedes, but we've got a month off to design new parts, and also there's a regulations vote which might be the trigger for development wars starting for 2026. Let's find out. Hello folks, welcome back to F1 Manager episode 51 here, and it will be my 50th race in charge of Mercedes, and it will be the Baku Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Now, I did mention in the intro that we've got a regulation vote coming up, so if I just go through the calendar here, the new regulations are proposed in 2 weeks, and then we'll get the result of that a week later. So the start of car parts research period opens on the same day. So I'm thinking that it's going to be the 2026 regulation changes. It's going to be a huge hit in terms of the car performance, and then we'll just have to research our way through it. I've also started working on where is it? A new rear wing, a specialist rear wing for Baku. Loads of drag reduction, loads of DRS effectiveness. It's fantastic at low speed. It's rubbish at pretty much everything else, and it weighs nothing. So hopefully we'll have a really good rear wing that works maybe for Monza as well. As like a specialist part rear wing. We'll have to remember that this is here. So yeah, that's that. I'm going to go to the regulation vote. I'll see you there, and let's see what it comes up with. Alright, here we are. We've reached the 7th of April 2025, and there's a regulation vote. Major technical changes. Complete underfloor overhaul. Major underfloor changes. Okay, so why is a complete overhaul only 50% lost and a major 55%? Surely a complete underfloor overhaul would be near enough 100%. But anyway, how bad do we want to make it? I'm thinking we go for the major and just nerf everybody, and then just spend the rest of the year making sure we research plenty so that we can be at the front for 26. Let's go for that and see what happens. Either way, there's going to be a massive reduction in performance. There's the design of the rear wing complete, and it is major underfloor changes that are coming for 2026. Red Bull have been outvoted, as have Aston Martin. The tiebreaker was voted for. So yeah, a slash in performance coming for next season, but we're about to add more performance to the car for Baku. So I'm going to crack on with preparing the team for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and I'll see you in qualifying. Into Q3 then, we had a bit of a scare with some traffic in Q2, and I've decided that we're going to do our first run on a used set of soft tyres, which we've done in Q2 as well, and in the hope of keeping 2 sets of softs free for the Grand Prix in the event of a red flag or a safety car that we can then use to good effect. I think that hurt us in the last round in Singapore. You might also have noticed earlier in the episode that there was a purple box somewhere over here. I'd forgotten to remove the game chat from my live stream at the weekend. So apologies if that annoyed you, but hopefully that has been corrected. Let's go into qualifying 3 for Baku and see what the first runs have in store for us. Alright, they've just started their first flying laps. We've got Verstappen and Gasly ahead on outlaps. Russell purple so far in the first sector. Charles Leclerc is on a much more used set of tyres than we are. Let's see what our middle sectors are like. It's George Russell who's he was the fastest. It looks like Leclerc might have gone quicker than he did. Russell goes P1, Hamilton half a second slower. Leclerc just 23 thousandths of a second off the pace of George Russell. But I would hazard a guess that Verstappen is probably going to go a bit quicker. Let's see what happens when he crosses the line. He does go top of the times by 1.5 tenths. Right then, here we go. Final laps of Q3 for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. We're following Lewis Hamilton. He is the first car on the road for Mercedes. We are also following the Red Bulls, but we're not close enough really for a slipstream. Got the sectors up here. Hamilton needs to pull a lap out. Verstappen, though, fastest so far in the first sector. Hamilton takes that back with a 35 flat. He's marginally quicker than Russell. So maybe the new tyres are working really well for us. Verstappen's middle sector is now fastest of anybody. What's Hamilton got in response? He is on an absolutely mad lap. Hamilton is flying. Purple in sector 1, purple in sector 2. George Russell hasn't got an answer right now. Verstappen hasn't improved his time. Leclerc doesn't improve either. Lewis Hamilton goes. P1! It's pole position. It's front row lockout for Mercedes. Russell delivers as well. Just a tenth between them. Get in there. Brilliant. No! Oh my gosh, I don't believe what I've just seen on the screen. Lance Stroll has got pole position. Where on earth did that come from? He must have got the toe of the century in the final sector. I'm speechless. I can't speak. I'm going to need a moment to get round this. We've had pole position snatched away from us. Unbelievable. Alright, I'm looking at the times, and Stroll was just over a tenth quicker in the final sector, and that made all the difference. He was just 9 thousandths quicker across the lap. He was kind of in the ballpark, matching Russell, but then that toe, I think he was behind Bottas. He just got the toe of the century, and it's ironic that Bottas gave him the toe, because obviously it was Bottas who stole second place from Stroll in 2017. So now he ends up on pole position for the Grand Prix. Okay, at least we're ahead of the Red Bulls. That's all I can say. Strategy decided then for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. I wonder what Stroll's going to start on, but hopefully we can use our fresh set of softs to get ahead of him. Underfueled a little bit. We've got an extra fresh set of softs to use in the event of a safety car or a red flag. It's very straightforward, soft, hard strategy. We've also got a fresh set of mediums we can use as well, so we could even go for a 2-stop if we wanted to, depending on how the race unfolds. If there's no safety car, maybe chuck on a set of mediums and then commit to a 2-stop with one of the cars. Right. Stroll on pole wasn't what I was expecting, but let's do a motor race. Right then, here we go. Your eyes don't deceive you. Lance Stroll is on pole. We've got 5 red lights. The lights are out. The race is on. Does Lewis Hamilton get the jump on the Canadian into turn 1? He does not. That's a Red Bull. Very aggressive into turn 1. Hamilton, can we find a way through? Verstappen is going to be a nuisance again. He's got past George Russell by the look of it. What is everybody starting on? Verstappen's actually on a set of mediums, so he'll be going a little bit deeper into the race, it would seem. But Lance Stroll has held on to the lead, at least in the beginning here. Leclerc is battling with Magnussen's Haas. Right, let's get this overtake set up and executed on the Aston Martin, and then at least we can put some distance between ourselves and the Red Bull. Right, we are just about to start lap 3. George Russell is actually closer to Lewis Hamilton than Lewis Hamilton is to Lance Stroll, but DRS is about to be active. I'm going to ask George not to fight his teammate because we just need to focus on passing the Aston Martin, and there goes Lewis Hamilton. I think we're going to snatch the lead here on lap 3. Indeed we are. We're even going to just swallow the Aston Martin completely, and that is the lead for Mercedes. First and second. Verstappen is 1.5 seconds behind. Alright, lap 8. As we go through the castle, we're still separated by just about half a second. But there is a Red Bull in third place now. It's Charles Leclerc, the Baku specialist. Verstappen has dropped back. Charles is on a set of softs, which would explain why he has got some pace at the moment. At the front, we are, well, Hamilton last time around was a bit slower, but we're doing okay. Hamilton could probably push on a little bit more. 47.1, yeah, 47.5 for Leclerc. So I think we're pretty okay. We're going to actually deploy on this lap. See if we can extend the gap further. Actually, a Stroll that's got past Leclerc. That's good, because the more they battle, the more they slow each other down, the more we can just turn this into an in-house fight. As I say that, we've got a safety car. Magnussen appears to have crashed. He's tangled with Alex Albon here. Albon on the inside, and there's... Oh, dearie me. I thought it was going to be one of those little bumps, but they've had a fairly hefty bump with the wall. That's definitely enough for a safety car. Albon and Magnussen both out of the race then. Right, what do we do strategy-wise? Do we box both cars?
Keep the delta positive. Understood.
Go for a set of mediums?
Just try and keep as much tempo as possible.
We're going to box both cars this lap for a set of mediums. We're going to respond to the safety car with a pit stop. And everybody's following us in. So where does Russell filter out in all of this? Will he come out in second place still? He's lost a position to Leclerc. So not ideal. What's Leclerc gone to? Set of mediums. Verstappen is on a set of softs. Green flags are waving. Hamilton moving around onto the racing line and leads the restart. Leclerc putting more pressure on Hamilton than Russell is on the Red Bull. He's actually dropped a second behind here. Not sure why that would be. Did he just make a mistake? Is he thinking more about Stroll? He's got driving clean air on, that would be why. So Leclerc is now free to attack Hamilton, and attack he is. This could be the lead disappearing for Mercedes. It's not at the moment. We're going to go neutral on the battery, balanced on the fuel, keep attacking on the tyres. Here comes Charles Leclerc down the outside. Is he taking the lead of the Baku Grand Prix? Think he is. Charles Leclerc into the lead. They're still side by side. Leclerc will have the advantage now in towards the castle section, although it looks like we're just going to go side by side here. Wonderful. Everything we want is side by side through the castle, and somehow we've retained the lead. Here comes Leclerc. We're deploying though, and that's our protection. Although Leclerc is going through, it looks like. No, our deployment is helping. This is why you wait a lap. You do a deploy, a neutral, and then a deploy. It just gives you that edge on the third lap when the AI runs out of battery. And now we can start trying to get Russell past Leclerc. I think we might even do that here into the final sector. That was close. Just go neutral with Lewis's battery. And George, let's jump on board. We are side by side with Leclerc. We're going to get DRS, and surely we'll get the move done here. Although maybe not. Leclerc's got DRS too. That wasn't in the script. And then we can just top up the battery from there. Okay, Leclerc. Is he going to have a look this time? Hamilton covers it off. All right. Still in control of the race for now. We'll keep that going. We've got to get to about lap 32 for our pit stops. Still a long way to go. George Russell has passed Charles Leclerc. It's through this mighty fast chicane, and he just got the line and bullied his way past, basically. So great stuff from George Russell. And now we don't fight, teammate. We've got another yellow flag as George Russell looks like he might be taking the lead, but he's been told to hold position. Don't crash, please. So at the moment we will hopefully hold position. George, stop it. Oh, they're such a pair of naughty boys. Right, we've got a new challenger, and it is the old challenger, Max Verstappen. He's caught and passed his teammate, who's just not got the pace at the moment. He's probably looking after his tyres a little bit more at the moment. Verstappen on those softs has come past, but he's 1.4 seconds behind Russell. Our pace is pretty good at the moment. 46.5, 46.2. Russell obviously getting the benefit of plenty of DRS, but his tyres are getting a bit warm because he's sitting in the dirty air. They actually matched each other on a 46.6 there. Verstappen 4 tenths quicker. But what we'll do now is we'll do a lap of deployment and see if we can open up the gap. But Red Bull look like they might be closing in here, with Verstappen pulling Leclerc along. That said, Verstappen's going to have to box before us, and he'll probably come out in a lot of traffic. Alright, well, that lap of deployment did work. It pulled us 2.5 seconds clear of Verstappen, but the Dutchman is putting on a bit of speed here to close us down. I'm guessing he's going to have a... Well, no, he's only had an ordinary middle sector, but he's now within DRS of Russell. But of course he will need to pit much earlier than we do. And again, we are ready to deploy, which we shall do. Did Verstappen get DRS? No, he did not. So if we can just break that gap once again, try and pull away. I might actually push with the engine a little bit here and just try and eke out the gap, so we can be a bit more comfortable, because 1.5 seconds not really that comfy. Stroll has dropped 6.5 seconds off this group. Any pit stop around now. In fact, Leclerc is challenging Verstappen, and that's going to help us significantly because they're just going to slow each other down. That's fine by me. Keep doing that, Red Bull. I will welcome that all day long. We have now entered the pit window. So I don't actually, do you know what? I don't think Verstappen will be pitting. Maybe we'll even be pitting before Verstappen, because our tyres can go even further. So we might just as well move the pit window a little bit further on to maybe lap 35 there with Lewis, and then we'll just do lap 36 with George. There we go. And then we can really push those soft tyres if we need to. And in the intervening time, we've got the option to go to a fresh set of softs, which we know will probably go to the end from here. So we're in a good position for any red flag, safety car, anything that pops up. Happy days. Verstappen coming out of the pit lane here on another set of softs. Is it fresh softs? Let's see. It should pop up any moment now once he exits the pit lane. It is a fresh set of softs for Max Verstappen, but he comes out behind Lando Norris and Logan Sargent, who are squabbling away. So I think what we do is we actually respond now. We know this was the original planned pit stop lap, 32. So we box now with Lewis, and we call George in the next time around, and hopefully we will minimise any sort of undercut that Verstappen thinks he might get. Good pit stop, please. 2.8 seconds. Good stuff. Where is the Dutchman? Just coming down the pit straight. So we've actually, all that traffic that Verstappen's got to deal with, we're out in front of it. which is absolutely fantastic news for Mercedes. We'll even deploy in celebration, although we won't get too far ahead of ourselves at the moment, because every time I seem to say we're looking good, seems to be a red flag or a safety car at the moment. 2.8 seconds stop for Russell. Good stop from the lads. There goes Lewis Hamilton, and Russell slots in comfortably behind him. So, at the moment, George is still being told not to fight his teammate. I think we keep it that way because we don't want to. We don't want to risk this. We don't want to have a collision or anything silly that can cost us these points. And we're going to catch Leclerc pretty quickly, I would think. Hamilton, let's see what his first lap time is against Leclerc. Unless the Monegasque pits, he doesn't. 47.3 versus a 44.3. So just the 3 seconds a lap quicker at the moment. Great stuff. Everything is good at the moment. We've got 15 laps remaining when they begin the next one. We just need to keep an eye on the Dutchman, whose tyres are older than ours. So we just make sure we stroke it home to the end now. Just make sure we match his pace. What was he doing the last time around? A 43.2. So he is going for it in terms of trying to catch us. Let's see what he does this time around. 44.4. So yeah, when he had to really go some, and that didn't even bring him within 5 seconds. I know it's early in the season, but I'm just going to keep them as they are now. We need to take these points, close the gap on Red Bull, and just keep the title fight ticking over. Hamilton earned this position through his qualifying, and I see no reason to take it away from him by allowing them to fight. And no reason to risk it. We're going to finish first and second if they stay as they are. So, from a team perspective, very, very happy. George Russell's actually almost within DRS range here. He was half a second quicker last time round, and he is closing the gap on Hamilton. His tyres are slightly better in terms of their wear, and now he will have DRS, but he's been told not to fight his teammate. I'm going to ask him to avoid the high-risk curves now that he's in the dirty air, and his tyres will start getting a little bit too hot. But yeah, he's been told to hold position. There's no need to risk an accident and handing Red Bull a first and second when we're 9 seconds clear of them. We just don't need to. That would be foolish in the extreme. And I don't feel like being like that. I feel like dominating this race and coming home with first and second. Alright, well, I've just been sitting here fast forwarding to the final lap of the race. Nothing's happened. We've just extended our lead over Verstappen to nearly 14 seconds. Leclerc is 9 seconds behind his teammate. The chap who took pole position, Lance Stroll, he's 5th. He's ahead of Sergio Perez, who I think was eliminated in Q2. And yeah, Ferrari have not had a good weekend. Sainz is 16th. We've just been protecting the car. Russell has got DRS, but as you can see, he's not making the move for the lead. And we're going to come home with a 1-2, which we maybe should have done in Singapore, considering the car's pace. Our qualifying performances in the last couple of rounds have been superb. Obviously, beating Red Bull with both cars in both of those sessions. Just the surprise of Lance Stroll today being on pole position. But we dispatched him early on. We've controlled this race. We've survived the scare of an early safety car. We've switched strategy, and it's paid dividends. Lewis Hamilton will claim his first victory of 2025. He takes the checkered flag, a 10th ahead of his teammate George Russell. And Mercedes come home in formation. We don't get the fastest lap. That actually goes to Liam Lawson. But a brilliant job from the team. Well done. Get in there, Lewis. You did drive your heart out there, George. And I'm sorry but not sorry for telling you to hold position the entire race, but this is the sort of track where it could all go wrong. I love how Lewis is parked right outside Red Bull here, just to rub it in their noses. Look, we're the winners, and we'll celebrate in front of your garages. Fabulous stuff. Celebrations in the Mercedes garage, our second win of the season. One each now for our drivers. Verstappen will probably still hold the championship lead with his third place, but this brings Lewis 10 points closer to him as he lifts the trophy above his head. And here we go. Champagne, confetti. Things you love to see. Well, I think we really put a marker down this weekend against Red Bull. We've beaten them by nearly 14 seconds in the race. I think without the safety car, it probably would have even been a bit bigger. Let's see what it does for the Drivers' Championship. Verstappen's lead at the top comes down to just 9 points. Lewis Hamilton is 16 adrift of the Dutchman now, Leclerc, with only 57 points. One podium since his move to Red Bull. He's being thoroughly overshadowed by Verstappen, and we are his closest challengers once again. If this isn't clear evidence that Red Bull, even in a computer game, can't manage two cars, I don't know what is. Yeah, Mercedes looking good. We've taken the lead of the Constructors' Championship. Hooray! 157 points to Red Bull's 148. We now lead by 9 points. So my decision to just bring the cars home is absolutely vindicated. I promise you I didn't know that we would take the lead of the championship with that result. But I'm very pleased that I made the right decision. So that's fantastic. And a 1-2 is always good news. So Lewis Hamilton gets his title charge up and running. Is this the moment where 8 begins to become a reality? If you enjoyed that race in Baku, make sure you give the video a nice big thumbs up for me. Really appreciate that and help the channel out. Subscribe for more F1 Manager videos and live streams. Go and check out my live stream at the weekend where I've been randomising the F1 Manager grid. Lewis Hamilton's actually in a Red Bull in that world, so go and enjoy that. Make sure you tune in on Friday for the next episode of the Mercedes journey. I'll see you then. It's goodbye for now.